Hi, welcome to the channel. It's an Inexplicable Experience. I'm Steve Morgan. This is my channel, this is my experience, and this is... show for you lined up. We're going to be doing some news later, but first of all, we might have Wally of the Week. We might have a shout out for the Gallifrey Girls. We might have, well, we will have a Knock at the Door review, the brilliant film Knock at the Door. We got some bad jokes. We got my soapbox. We got the usual stuff. Jasmine will be here as well. Look forward to it. It's time for the news. In the news today, next week, so this week. Start again. In the news this week, Humza Yousaf has become the First Minister of Scotland. His political rival, Ash Regan, was very happy about this. Also in the news, the mass shootings in America have been covered a little bit more. First of all, it was a woman who was doing it, then it was a trans woman who was doing it, then it was a trans man, and apparently now it's a man, and oh no, it's a trans man again. And according to the GC movement, this is nothing surprising because trans people are all capable of any group who's got a mass shooter involved in the group. It just shows reflection of the group. Apparently, that's what they said, something like that. Anyway, but they're right. They also said that trans people are obsessed with children, so they might be paedophiles, and I think, and they're saying that they're not surprised that a group like this, but when a group has got problems, things like this in the group, once again they're saying it's probably a reflection on the group. And I say to them, the majority of mass shooters in America are white Christians. The majority of paedophiles in the world are white Christians. So yeah, you have a point. We should worry about these groups, not worry about the groups who only have minority things like the trans people mass shootings once. We should worry about the bigger problem. Thank you for bringing that up, GC people. Oh, and by the way, GC people, where do you get your money from? Oh yeah, that's right, the church. Anyway, also Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been indicted. They couldn't get him on the obvious things, trying to start terrorist attacks and other things, just attacking the White House. No, they couldn't indict him on that. They've indicted him on the fact that he paid a prostitute hush money on a business expense. Yep, they got him on a trumped up charge. That's my favourite one, that is. They got him on a trumped up charge. Al Capone also was got on this charges of not paying his taxes. So Trump has got something in common with Al Capone. They're both fat bastards. Anyway, that's been the news. Thank you very much and goodbye. I feel like busting loose with some bad joke. Action.
How do you make two old ladies both jump up at the same time and shout fuck?
I don't know. How do you make two old ladies both jump up at the same time and shout fuck?
Get a third one to shout up and shout house.
Jasmine's food review.
Welcome back again to Jasmine's cooking review. We got our maroon, it's apparently
Macaroon.
Macaroon is French, so let's give it a try. That's awful.
Farmer Doomsday! Hello there, it's me, Farmer Doomsday. Cheers here, my friends, how you doing? I've been thinking a lot just recently, actually. I've been thinking about my chickens. Now, I've got a lot of chickens, a lot of chickens. In fact, my farm is overruled with chickens, and a lot of people wonder about me and my chickens. I want to say that day with Daisy the cow, the chicken, and the large giant cucumber, it was an accident, and it could have happened to anyone. And I'm sorry, but I don't swing that way. I can tell you that for nothing. Now, I was about 10 when I fed my first chicken. His name was Red. He was a lovely little white chicken called Red. I don't know why I called him Red. And the rumour that I called him Red because I buggered his ass, so it was Red. It's a big lie, and I don't want people to think about that though. He was raised on this farm with my sister Flo and my sister Laura, and they had this act in the local village hall, which got banned, of course, because Laura was doing stuff that you don't want to know about with a giant penguin's arse. Anyway, that was a bit weird, but we just decided we had chickens, and that's why we decided to start to raise those chickens. And well, basically, we started off with about 4 or 5 chickens. There was Cluxy, Red, Bimbo, Bingo, Cha-Cha. After a while, it got a bit overhanded, and we ended up with hundreds of the fuckers, and that's why we decided to try to make something new, you see, because everybody was eating chicken. You can have chicken drumsticks, you can have buffalo fucking wings, there's piri chicken, there's so much chicken. We needed something new, we needed like a good idea. And that's when I came up with the idea of Vaseline. What you do is you get the chicken and you go like that, and you put the Vaseline up his arsehole. And what happens then is when the chicken starts to cluck really madly, you pull it out, and what you've got inside is all the meat has become very sticky. And when the meat becomes very sticky, what you do is you bathe it. You bathe the chicken in a nice jacuzzi, and you give it a good fucking, basically, because if you give the chicken a good fucking, it fills it up. You fill it up with semen, and what happens is the chicken becomes this delicious food. It's amazing. We call it lucky chicken or special chicken. And everybody come from miles to eat this chicken, and I made a lot of money on my chickens, and I thought I'd sell them on, everything would be fine. And then the FDA got involved, didn't they? Oh no, you can't cover your chicken in salmon, in sperm and Vaseline, apparently it's wrong. I mean, for fuck's sake, it made it fucking lovely. It was the most tastiest fucking chicken I'd ever had. But no, you can't do that, apparently. Farmer Doomsday, you can't do that. So now I've got all these fucking chickens. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm called Farmer Doomsday. Now, the reason I'm called Farmer Doomsday is because I'm bringing on the end of the fucking world. The world's gone really bad for me, you know. It's a terrible place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to destroy it. And you're probably wondering, Farmer Doomsday, how are you going to destroy the world? Well, it's quite simple. I'm going to destroy the world by using chickens. Yes. Those chickens here, I've got hundreds of them now because no one would eat the fucking things. And they're all covered, they're all filled with sperm and Vaseline. And you may not know this, but there is a chemical reaction if you add sperm, Vaseline, and bromide. So I've got some bromide, and I'm going to feed these chickens bromide. And I reckon I've got about a couple of hours after they've eaten it before they explode. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those chickens to London, I'm going to let them out, and I'm going to blow London up. And London will be covered in sperm, Vaseline and bromide, and lots of chicken bits. and that will bring on the chicken apocalypse, and then I will become known as the Chicken Master. Now you're probably thinking, Farmer Doomsday, that's mad, and you're right, because I am Farmer Doomsday, and I am quite mad. But you'd be mad too if you were covered in fucking chickens everywhere. Chickens here, chickens there, chickens fucking everywhere. Anyway, I've been Farmer Doomsday. Thank you very much and goodbye. Knock at the Cabin review. So this film is the new M. Night Shyamalan movie, and I'm ever so sorry because I might have got the title wrong. It's either Knock at the Door or Knock at the Cabin. I think it's Knock at the Cabin. And it's a shame I've got the title wrong because this is probably one of the better movies I've seen just recently. It's a real tense thriller. If you're expecting gory horror, don't bother to watch it because it's not a gory horror film. But it is a very dark movie. It's about this little girl who's playing in a field, a cabin with her two dads, and who've taken her on holiday. And this man turns up, and he's a bit of a creepy man. And then all of a sudden he's got these other guys, and they invade the cabin, and there's a fight ensues. What happens is that the dads want to know what's going on and why these people are invading the cabin, and they tell them that they have come to stop the apocalypse. They have stated that there is going to be an apocalypse, and these two, and the only way to stop it is if one of the three people, the kid or the two dads, sacrifices their lives and the other one kills them. Of course, they think they're mad. There's no such thing as the apocalypse. They don't think anything's going to happen. And what you get then is this very tense movie about them trying to prove the apocalypse is happening. And it is so brilliant. It's edge up your seat. You're never sure at all whether these people are telling the truth and the apocalypse is coming, or they're complete nutcases of some kind of cult trying to just basically cause problems with these three people. We find out as we go along that one of them is a homophobe and attacked in previous times, and attacked the other one of the parents. And this leaves you thinking, are they villains? Are they mad? Is this something more? Is this really an apocalypse thing? You never know till the end. And the truth is, it doesn't matter what it is, because it's the watching, it's the anticipation, it's a real, it builds up your blood, you know what I mean? So I really do recommend that film. I think it's very good. I'm going to give it 5 thumbs up. Wally of the Week. Okay, now it's time for Wally of the Week, and this week's Wally is J.K. Rowling. You knew it was coming. Anyway, yeah. So J.K. Rowling came to Posey Parker's aid this week. She was, this week and last week, she was basically getting very upset with the trans community because they were daring to defend the attack on Posey Parker and the 70-year-old woman in the crowd at this march, at this Let Women Speak rally. The fact that the 70-year-old woman ran into the crowd and ran straight at someone who just had a flight and fight instinct, that's besides the point. We're all evil, misogynist, violent bastards, apparently, and lots of other stuff. Fair enough, she's entitled to her view, she's entitled to her opinion, but it's amazing how she missed out all of it about the Nazi salutes and all the women who were pushed to the ground because they dared to speak against Posey. All that was missing from her rhetoric. And this guy decided, this guy decided to basically explain why he thought that was wrong. He said, J.K. Rowling regularly posts transphobic rhetoric immediately after events where trans people have been attacked or killed. She doesn't really hold this to standard, just wants to act as though trans people are the aggressors. J.K. Rowling is quite naturally upset by this because she feels it's an attack on her person. Fair enough. So she comes out and says examples. So she wants an example of how she tries to hide attacks on trans people by rhetoric against trans people. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah. The bloke replies with, the time you framed yourself as a witch, as a victim of a witch hunt, on the day of murdered trans girl Brianna Gay. This is true. Oh, when Brianna Gay was, it wasn't when the day of, no, that's, yeah. Basically, what happened was on the funeral of Brianna Gay, J.K. Rowling came out and released her podcast, which was all about people hunting her, people treating her as a witch in a witch hunt because she disagreed with certain trans rhetoric. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, she then said, show me the actual record, Jack, show me where I said this. To which this guy replied, you're on a podcast called The Witch Trials of J.K. Rowling. That's the name of her podcast, The Witch Trials of J.K. Rowling. So she counters with this. This is brilliant. Yes, a podcast where I never say I'm the witch. I'm the victim of a witch hunt. Yada, 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 yada. So what she's saying is because she doesn't actually say she's a victim of a witch hunt, you can't say she's saying that. Even though she's saying that people are out to get her in this podcast, saying that she's basically saying that people are misunderstanding her on purpose, people are cancelling her, people are trying to cancel her, people are sending a lot of rhetoric against her. So she is saying she's a victim of a witch hunt, but because she never says the words victim of a witch hunt, even though her podcast is called The Witch Hunt, The Witch Trials, sorry, apparently that doesn't mean what you can't say she said it, even though she did say it. It's like a fucking baby going, I must be invisible because I can't see you. It's pathetic, but it's not the stupidest thing she said. That was from a couple of weeks ago. This is what we're talking about today. It was recently discovered that those given transfusions of blood from the opposite sex had poorer outcomes, including fatalities. I stumbled across this whilst researching my book, Troubled Blood. Well, that just gives me reason never to read Troubled Blood, because that's a load of bollocks. Right, blood isn't gendered. We all know that. Blood is blood type. O, A, B, blah, blah, blah. Always has been, always will be. There have been studies into is it gendered or not, and does it cause problems if you give it to the wrong sex. There have been studies, and some studies, preliminary studies, showed there could be. Now let's explain preliminary studies. Preliminary studies mean the variables are not there. You're just doing it straight out. It's not a secondary study, it's a preliminary study. So therefore it doesn't prove this as a fact, it just proves, it's like people who do the preliminary studies for saccharin and say there are, and saccharin and aspartame, and say there could be links to bad health, but they've not found any links to bad health. The first study proved there could be, not that it is. And there have never been any other studies in 20, 30 years, and it will be the same with this. Because this is just something a young student does when they want to make a paper. They want to publish their first paper. They do some certain studies. They're not trying to prove that this is real or not. They're just doing a preliminary study to show that they can do preliminary studies. That's all it is. The fact that she thinks this is a fact makes her my Wally of the Week. Steve's Soapbox. So you know what really pisses me off right now? Do you know what drives me up the same? Do you know what makes me fucking angry? I'll tell you what makes me angry. Oh yeah, I'll tell you right now what makes me fucking angry. What gets on my fucking nerves? All this bullshit about the woke. Oh, the woke. It used to be the politically correct, now it's the fucking woke. And it's the same shit the media always pile on you. They tell you something and you fall for it. Oh, guess what? Oh, Lady Bird are destroying the old books, yeah? They're using sensitivity readers. Oh, fuck. They're ruining everything for everybody. The fact of the matter is, books have been edited for fucking years. New generations, if something doesn't work in a new generation, they change it. This has nothing to do with some conspiracy to make the world a softer place. It's just called society and how society rolls, and it's how it changes. And you're stuck in the past because you don't understand this. And this is the actual major facts, the major truth. I'm stuck in. This is the honest to goodness truth. And I'm telling you right now, and you know it, and I know it. It's bullshit, because if you want to be honest, the Grimm brothers' version of Cinderella, well, with the original version, guess what happened? I'll tell you what fucking happened. They took a fucking slipper, and the old ugly sister, she couldn't fit the slipper on. So what happened after that? I'll tell you what happened. The stupid bitch then cut off her toes so she could fit a slipper. That's in the original story. Would you tell your kids that? Hey, and then she cut off her toes, and then all the blood was pouring everywhere. What's the matter, Jimmy? Why are you crying? The fact of the matter is, it changed because life changed, because the way we teach children changed. And that is what sensitivity readers are. Yes, some of them are a little bit, they might go over the top, they might take their job a bit too seriously, but it's nothing to worry about. It's not changing the world. It's just quite funny. And guess what? You still remember the original story, so you can still tell it to your kids. How? Do you know what? When I told my nieces and nephews when I was young, and I taught them stories, I told them loads of fucking stories. And I changed most of them as well. The fact of the matter is, I never turned around and I never read from a single fucking book. All those Ladybird books, I didn't fucking read from them. Do you know what I did? I told the story how I remembered it. Because that's what we should be doing. And this is the problem with the world at the moment. We're too busy worrying about the way things are changing, and we're convinced that there is an evil woke conspiracy. Woke doesn't even mean that. The original wording of woke, that was all about black people realising they were being treated unfairly, and they started saying they were woke to it. That's all that was. Now it's some fucking conspiracy theory, which and all the fucking media are saying, oh, woke this, woke that. What do we call it? Snowflake this, snowflake that. Do you know what Snowflake actually came from? It came from the film Fight Club. And Fight Club was actually a parody mocking the people who were calling people snowflake, snowflake, because they were saying they were the weak, really. And that's what you don't understand. And that's basically it. You're stuck in a giant parody of yourselves, and it's time to come out. Don't be woke. Don't be spoke. Be woke. Thank you. Shouted out. Hey, you want a shout out? I'm giving you a shout out. This shout out is for the Gallifrey Girls. They stand Katrina Alicia and Paula Deming, and they watch Doctor Who and other stuff. They watch lots of stuff now. They're really good, they're really fun. Yes, there is water under the bridge, bad water under the bridge between me and them, and some of it was my fault, some of it was theirs, but that's a different thing, and that's for another day. And I will be doing an open letter to talk about that in future episodes. But right now, I'm just giving them a shout out. So shout out! Final thoughts! So now it's time for the final thought of the day, of the show, I suppose. My thought is, why is this cough still fucking here? Oh, no, I'm joking. I don't really have a thought. My head is empty. My thought is about how complicated the world is and how simple it is at the same time. Because everybody misinterprets everything, and everybody thinks they're right about things, and everything gets so confusing. And when you just lay back and just think, sod it, the world's a better place. What people want is the ability to be able to do their thing, make something of themselves, and just live a happy life. And the secret of happiness is really simple. If you want to be happy in yourself, don't be a penis to others. And that's it. And if someone is a penis to you, just go, ha! And that is it. That's the secret of happiness, right there. Say ha to the penis and don't be a penis. Who would have thought that the secret of happiness is in the word itself? I don't know if that's really clever or really stupid, but okay, that's it for the day. That's it for the day. Don't forget to like, dislike, leave a comment. Come on, leave a comment now. The only comments I get is from Ali Law, and I'm getting a bit sick of them because they're all weird. Come on, leave some more comments and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more new video content when it will tell you when it's coming, all that sort of stuff. And you can share, please share. Just share this video. Share it as much as you possibly can. Share the link. Wherever you get the link, just share the link. Let's get this going. Let's have some fun together. Also, those jokes I've been asking for haven't been coming, so please send me your jokes. Send me anything. Send me nonsense things you're doing, silly things. Hey, if you've fallen over and you've got a video, send it to me. I want as much silly stuff and silly content as possible. The Steve Morgan experience isn't just about my experience, it's also about your experience. So come on, do this. Until then, see ya, British buns.